Now, some delegates of the Ayawaso North constituency are incensed over the MCE's decision to deny a former parliamentary candidate into the voting center. The MCE, Amidu Isaka, insists the former parliamentary candidate Alhaji Manaf Alidu Osman is not accredited to be at the voting center and instructed the police to block the former parliamentary candidate from entering. Some of the delegates have threatened to boycott the elections if the former PC is not allowed entry. I'm told my colleague Parker is with us. Parker, what more can you tell us from where you are? All right.
So, Brace, I'm currently at the mother and child here at Mamobi, and just behind me is the voting center where the Electoral Commission is expected to conduct the constituency executive elections for delegate or constituent within the Ayawaso North constituency, particularly for the governing NPP. The process has delayed for just some few minutes over a few disagreements. And I heard you talk about the former PC who's been denied entry. Finally, the matter has been resolved. The MCE has been petitioned, and he has finally gained entry or have access to the voting center. The MCE is here. Let me just engage him briefly on the security arrangement. You recall that yesterday there was a bit of violence at Bobuashi, and today the police says they have revised their security strategy, and he is the head of the MUSEC here at Ayawaso North constituency. Honorable, thank you very much for your time this morning. I want to know the security arrangement. How is it going to be like? I see delegates have to go through two different phases of scrutiny and screening. Why so?
That is correct, because here Ayawaso North is one of the hotspots in Greater Accra. So, stemming from what happens at the other election centers, like those who held the election yesterday. So we also have to brief up security. So we have the National Police Command reps here. We have Regional Police Command reps here. We have District and then the Divisional Command. So quite a number of security.
I see heavy security present.
Exactly, because it's a hotspot. So we have to go through the various checkpoints to make sure that you are truly a delegate before you are allowed in.
So persons who are not delegates, persons who perhaps may have been former parliamentary candidates, persons who may be former MCs, wouldn't be given the permission to enter?
Yes, the guidelines provided by the election committee. The last meeting we had was only yesterday night. That's around 9, I think 8:39. So they enforce the guidelines that they gave me, that persons without accreditation must not be allowed in. And then secondly, it's a purely delegate affair. I even mentioned the issue of what former parliamentary candidates say, no, because if we allow the former parliamentary candidates, then we have to allow all other high personalities to come in. Who knows? We don't know what will happen. Because we agree that there should be no form of any campaign within the election center at all. Because it can bring insecurity. Because you may try to stop one, and then the other two will not allow him to be stopped. So I think the security is very, very high here.
I see. Now, finally for me, I see that the program was expected to start at 9 a.m. It's past 10. They are yet to commence voting. The Electoral Commission officials are ready. They've set up their polling booth and all of that. Why the delay, sir?
When I came, I saw a group of people playing football. No, this is a football park. So quickly, I had to send them away. Maybe that could be one of the factors. And then and then also the late arrival of the accreditation also could be a factor.
So the late arrival?
Yes, the difference is only about 1 hour, which is normal in electioneering era.
Right, now finally, for peace, law and order to be maintained here, are you certain that by the close of day, there wouldn't be any violence here at Ayawaso North constituency?
Yes, that's why as the MUSEC chairman, I did not sit in my office to issue command. I've been here since morning, yes, with the police, making sure that there is no state of insecurity. Because of the delay of the No, I mean the issue of the accreditation. So we have to come out with a strategy. What do you call it? The party hierarchies, I mean, they line up to be able to identify those coming. So we started with that before we got the accreditation.
So there will be peace?
I'm sure, absolutely, there will be absolute peace.
Thank you very much. So that is the MCE for the Ayawaso North constituency there, Alhaji MZ, as he is popularly known, and he is confident that there will be peace for those elections. And Brace, let me say that before I got to Ayawaso North, I was at the Ablekuma North constituency. There was also heavy police present. In fact, I counted almost about 50 to 60 policemen who have been stationed there. Ablekuma North also has been identified as a hotspot. And based on what happened yesterday, the police doesn't want any surprises. And so they have stationed their men at various vantage points to ensure that there is law and order. The DCOP, Director of Operations at Ghana Police Service, DCOP Mohammed Suraj, when I spoke to him, was clear in his mind that any party member who does not comply with the laid-down regulations or the laid-down procedure will be made to face the law. They will punish any individual irrespective of his party colors or his position. The MP for the area, Sheila Bartels, was also confident that the issue about names that were missing from the album, she claims that that has been resolved, and so she's not expecting any kind of agitation from any of the delegates. She is confident that any member whose name has not been captured on the register will be made to vote because they made some arrangement for that. So today the Greater Accra region is organizing 2 elections within these 2 constituencies, Ablekuma North constituency and Ayawaso North constituency. Tomorrow they'll continue with about 15 of the constituencies in Accra.
Generally, the 2 areas have been peaceful, unlike yesterday.
Yes, largely, Brace, the 2 areas have been very, very peaceful. I've been there. I have ascertained the situation. Of course, I can tell or say for at the time that I was there at Ablekuma North constituency. In fact, that election is going on at the old municipal. There's a school there. That's where the election is happening. So the delegates at the time were cooperated. In fact, the arrangement was that the electoral coordinators were going to invite their members within that electoral area. So they'll be mentioning the names of your electoral area, then you bring in your members and they will come and cast their ballot. So if you haven't heard your name or you've not been called, you have no business being within the perimeters of the voting center. That was the situation at the Ablekuma North constituency. Here, the MCE is saying that every delegate must show proof of accreditation before you gain access to the voting center. And as you can see, it's all set. They are now moving gradually to the tent. And so largely, I can say that this morning it's been peaceful, and the MCE is clear in his mind that the peace will not only be peculiar to this very moment, but the peace will run through the day, and there will be an incident-free today here at Mamobi, particularly the Ayawaso North constituency.
Thank you very much, Parker.